This is the Gatekeepers Podcast with Billy Grove. Billy is an innovative leader in the industry who loves teaching others how to build quality fence. So kick back, grab a cold beverage, and get ready to talk about fence. Today's show is sponsored by Mr. Fence Academy, National Metal Industries, and J.C. GURY. If you're looking to hit the next level in your fence company, check out Mr. Fence Academy. Real fencers, real job sites, real training equals real results. And now, live from the Mr. Fence Academy studios, here's your host, Billy Grove.
What is going on, man?
Hey, thanks for having me on your show. I appreciate it.
Anytime, man. I was glad you reached out like an ask, because I was going to ask you here shortly, but you already took care of it. And as soon as you asked, I was like, absolutely, be on the show. I was gonna like reach out to you and ask, but man, that's freaking awesome. Tell everybody a little bit about where you're from, how your past 7 days was, and you don't have to give me a loss because I know that's kind of hard for some people, but just give me a win for your past 7 days.
What am I supposed to start with?
Just start with who you are and where you're out of.
Okay, so I've been in the fence business my whole life. When I was like, I want to say 12 to 14, my dad started a fence company, and so I was working for him for the first 10 years of my life, working for his company, which is actually still around today in Hesperia, California, the best fence company. My sister runs that. But now I live in Nashville, Tennessee, and I'm running Your Bid Helper, which is, helping with commercial and industrial estimates and that type of thing. So the last 7 days, so I just got back from a road trip to Northern California and then from Nashville, Tennessee. So yeah, never again. That was a really long drive. It was like 48 hours there and 48 hours back. And on the way there, I had to stop at a Starbucks to work for like 6 hours on a customer's bid. And then on the way back, my car broke down for, I want to say 6 hours. So it was just like 48 hours total. But no, besides that, I've been bombarded with a bunch of my customers telling me, hey, bid on this job, bid on this job, bid on that job. So I'm very happy about that. That's what I'm here for. So
heck yeah,
definitely.
Heck yeah, man. I love it. So before we get into it, what was your win for the past week, you said?
Well, I mean, my win is kind of just having the business, having a lot of jobs to work on, and so a lot of them were for January, but I'm like, okay, that's good. That means like I have to obviously work on the ones that are due right away, and then the ones that are in January, I can kind of schedule them in. So I definitely appreciate getting something in advance rather than like, hey, I need this by tomorrow, which, we can do that too, but it's always nice to, if everybody sends me something that's due tomorrow, that's pretty much impossible. But, but it's on a case by case basis. So when people send me stuff that's like bidding in January, I'm like, okay, I got a little bit of time. Like we can, schedule out accordingly. So,
yeah. Hell yeah, man. That's awesome, dude. I love to hear it. All right. So you touched on a little bit on your journey into the fence industry. Let's go ahead and just, dive into it, get a backstory. You said you started putting your hands on fence around 12 to 14 years. Take us from that 12 to 14 years old to where you are today and how you started out with Your Bid Helper.
Yeah. So, it was such a blast working for my dad's company, because we'd be building fence Monday through Friday, and Saturdays and Sundays we'd be cleaning the truck beds, painting the truck beds. You know how it is, right? When you have a small fence company, it's always like there's always stuff to do. And some of my best memories is like fencing around 5 acres, and my dad and his friends would be tying the fence, and me and my twin brother would be hoggering in the fence. It would be racing, like who's gonna win first, you know? It's like
right.
that was like so much fun, man. Just having that small family business and stuff. So I've been installing fence my whole life. Even when I have estimating jobs, I've been installing fence. I love installing fence. There's no joy like, you know, going and creating something with your hands. And like when you're really good at it, it's like even better because they're like, oh man, it looks perfect. You know, everybody loves it. It's just like one of those things that there's nothing else like it. You know, when there's you know, there's nothing at the site, and then you go and you just make this fence and it's secure and it's strong and it looks good. I mean, there's really no satisfaction like that. You know, even being in the office and you sell $1 million job, it's not the same. It's not the same as like just going out and digging some holes and getting the fence lined up. But I'm definitely a fence person through and through. I've never had a job until moving to Tennessee. I've never had a job that didn't involve fence in some form or fashion. So I started estimating an Alcorn Fence. They're a company in Southern California. They do just commercial industrial work. They do the highways, the Melvin Gardner, and all that type of stuff. So I worked there for 3 years. That's where I kind of learned how to, you know, break down plans and specs and that type of thing. And then I switched over to A1 Fence in Anaheim, California, and I worked there for 13 years. And that was a great job. It was 100% commission. So like, you didn't sell, you didn't eat. It's the way that it works around that, but which is like a two-edged sword. It's great, you know, when the getting's good, but you know, sometimes you put in the same level of effort or even more effort and don't get the results, you know. So it's like the sales is one of those things. You can put in 80 hours and sell $500,000, and you can put in 20 hours and sell $2 million. It's like there's no direct correlation between the amount of work you do and the amount of money you make when you're in sales. So yeah, so me and my wife decided to move from California to Nashville, and so I started working for Rio Grande Fence here in Nashville. I was a crew leader, a foreman, working for them, and then there was Fence Tech here in Nashville, and I had a customer with Eagle Fence out of Philadelphia, and the owner of the fence company, and she got a hold of me, and she's like, hey, you know, would you be interested in estimating for us? And I was like, well, yeah, I mean, no problem, but I have tons of experience, and I feel like even though I'm out there digging holes every day, it's like I'm really smart. I know a lot of stuff. So it's kind of dumb for me to be out here digging holes. But, you know, I'll do it. You know, obviously everybody does what they have to do to get by. So it's like it's not a problem. I love building fence, but I'm really smart, and I have a lot more to offer the marketplace. So it started with her in Philadelphia and looking at those projects. And then eventually I got a hold of a couple people in Texas who were using my business and, you know, estimating service and stuff. So I was kind of doing it on the side. It was a really nice side income because I had my regular job, you know, my 9 to 5, and then on the weekends and the afternoons, I took care of these bids. But so the company owner here's like third generation owner for Rio Grande. It's a big company. They have like, I want to say like 12 trucks. They do only commercial, industrial. They don't do any residential. So it was a big company, and the owner decided that it was a conflict of interest. I didn't really see the conflict of interest because I was installing fence for them, and I wasn't estimating for them. I was installing for them, and they don't work anywhere outside of Nashville. So I was kind of like, I'm not bidding for any companies in Nashville. I don't really see the conflict of interest. But before my boss let me go, he hyped me up for like 30 minutes. Like, you're amazing, Isaac. This company can be bigger than my company. You know, like this is going to be a great idea. And so he basically released me to go do it on my own. And I wasn't really necessarily ready. It definitely was a very stressful time for my marriage and that kind of thing. So,
dude, I can totally relate because, you know, like if you've heard my backstory, like I was a weekend warrior before COVID. Like I was a bartender, server, and then on the weekends I was a daytime bartender and a daytime server. I didn't work at night, do all that stuff. So then on the weekends I would go install fence so I could make extra money. Well, whenever COVID hit and we lost our jobs, I was like, I'm not going to be one of those people that take all this unemployment and have to pay it all back. I was like, I'm not going to do it. So I took one of those checks and I turned myself off from the rest of the checks to not get them. And we hit the ground running. It was probably one of the most scariest first couple months that I've ever had in my adult life. It was very nerve-wracking, and you're right, it does take a toll on your family life as well because, you know, if you're not making money, you don't eat. So
oh man, yeah. I mean, praise God for Western Fence in Phoenix, Arizona. Tom, he's the managing partner over there, and he was down an estimator, and he started. I talked to him. I think it was like the next day after I was unemployed, and I talked to him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, we can use it right away." And he got like my lowest hourly rate because he was my first customer. So it's like, yeah, cool. Like this is how much, it was really cheap, but I was like, I don't care because I need work at this point. I'm not like trying to, even now at my current rates, I'm not like making tons and tons of money. I'm just trying to make a living. But at the same time, like, so I started working for him, and he started just sending a bunch of work my way. And I was like, all right, this is good. And so obviously I post on Facebook. I post the flyers about my business, about what we do and that stuff. And been getting like a lot of word of mouth. I work for some Superior Fence and Rails and Top Rail Fence and some of the bigger fence corporations that are out there. So when they have their weekly meetings, they'll mention me, and I'm like, cool, yeah. I mean, come on in. I'll work on your job. That's not an issue. So I'm very grateful for all the word of mouth and all the business that's been coming in. So I just recently kind of started doing a monthly subscription to where you can send me as many jobs as you'd like for one flat low fee. And so I'm really getting a lot of work coming in, especially from the subscriptions customers. So part of the reason that I did the subscription is so I could stay busy and get the work coming in. So I don't have like a ton of subscription customers, but the ones that I have are sending me a bunch of work. So I'm appreciative.
But hey, man, that is probably the best route that you're ever going to take, because it is a guaranteed paycheck for however long they signed up for the subscription.
Oh yeah.
So
well, the thing about it is like, if it's a larger project, it could be $1,000 or $2,000 invoice for one project. Because if I'm spending 30 hours on something, it's like, it's going to take a lot of time. That's the thing about estimating. It's like, if you're going through the addenda, you're going through the plans and the specs and reviewing all the information, this, for the most part, it doesn't happen in 1 hour. If it's a small job, I've had jobs that I've completed in an hour. I'm not saying I haven't, but for the most part, if you're going through and looking at everything the way you should be, it takes time. And there's not like a lot of shortcuts as far as like, looking for stuff. Like you can do the Control F, and search for the word fence or ornamental or gates. I mean, you can do certain things, but it's like really once you get down to it, it takes time to go through these things and to get all the details correctly. And I mean, that's what we do here. We get all the details and do the takeoff and the material list and, get everything ready for the customers. So there's some people that use us. We actually go on to their Plan Hub or their Building Connected and find the jobs. And then we break them down. Then we do the material list. The one thing we don't do is, I like to say the one thing we don't do is install the fence, but there's actually two things we don't do. So we don't price out the materials. We'll give you material lists, and I'll even email it to your vendor if you like, but it's like we do not do anything to do with materials. And then once we get the materials back, we will do an estimate and obviously send that to you and review the labor and the materials, the markup and everything. And we do proposals, and we do send proposals out to general contractors as well. So we can do all of those items, but most of the customers just require like a takeoff and a material list. Most of the customers are not requiring that full service, but we do offer that.
Right. Well, that's awesome, man. That is awesome to hear. We're going to jump into some comments before we move on to our next one. I'm not even going to try to pronounce this name. I'm going to butcher it. He says, looking forward to the show. Thank you so much for watching. Very much appreciate you from wherever you're from, guys. We do have viewers from all around the world. It's pretty crazy. I get to see the analytics. I mean, China, Russia, Germany, UK, Australia. We have a lot of different range of viewers. So glad you're watching the show. Thank you so much. We got, let's see, as Karen McManus O'Neill says, hi folks, happy December. How are you doing? I saw you watching the Women of FWA podcast earlier, talking with my wife. Looking forward to building some louvered fence. I don't know how I missed your booth at the fence show, but looking forward to meeting you at the next fence show. Can't wait for that. See, we got Miss Mark and Mary Kinda Cobb, JC GURY Inc. Science and Decals. They say, hey, well, what is going on, everybody? There is my good friend, Mr. Evan Gardner. Billy, how you be? Man, I be great. I see you are doing great too. Quick little free shout out, guys. If you're in the Postmaster game or the channel post game, it doesn't matter if it's Z Post, Lifetime Post, Postmasters, go hit up Mr. Evan Gardner and get yourself a wingman tool. Get yourself a wing jack as well if you want to do some post height adjustments and pull them up and not have to break your back. Guys, he has an awesome product. It is hands down one of the coolest things I've seen. Super proud of where he's at with it. Go check him out. I don't got your website, man. I'm so sorry, but Wingman and Wingjack Tools, guys. All right, we got Miss Karen McMinnis O'Neill again says, gotta enjoy the Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. Absolutely. And I feel like I don't want to have anybody, watching a live show on Christmas Eve or on New Year's Eve. I mean, probably better things to do than me watching a Fence podcast, right?
You'd be watching football. That's what they'll be doing.
There we go. Do something better than watch Fence podcast. But I mean, if you do watch my reruns, give me a like, a thumbs up, and just drop a comment and say, hey, man, thank you, all that. All right, we got JC GURY Ink Signs and Decals says, put a fork in it. That was probably a comment to something that we were talking about.
Probably to your lunch pail.
Oh, yeah. Eating with my fingers. Yeah. That was my loss for the last 7 days. Eating with my fingers for 3 days in a row. That was no fun. All right. Miss Michaela Patterson says, hey, Billy. Hey, Amanda. Hey, girl. How are you? I hope you have a wonderful Christmas and a happy new year. Looking forward to seeing you at this year's upcoming Fence show. Look at that. Speak of the devil. We got Miss Susan K. Worley in the house. She says, hey, y'all. Hey, girl. How are you? We need to chat soon. It's been a couple weeks, so let's do that soon. But all right, guys, there's all the comments for the moment. We're gonna get back to the show. If you would like, drop us a comment. Let us know you're watching. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me questions. If you have any for me, for Isaac, and we'll get to them periodically. All right. So we're gonna skip the next talking point because you did touch on that. Your jump to Nashville, and you pretty much explained it very well. So your bid helper today. Give some of our viewers some insight on the company. Is this like a commercial chain link only type thing? Can I get you to do a wood back or like a wood fence for Mrs. Jones's backyard or?
Oh, so we don't do any residential at all. So we do the temporary fence and we do commercial work. But as far as products, it's very rare that I come across a product that I haven't used or installed because I've been in the fence industry so long. But actually this last weekend, I was working with MW Fence out of Joplin, Missouri. And we actually bid on a concrete wall that I was not familiar with. But we were able to get all the specs and talk to the manufacturer and get stuff figured out. Okay, this is what we're going to do our bid at, And so, but we'll do horizontal wood, any kind of wood fence, any kind of iron fence, any fence at all, really. If we break down the materials down to every post, every cap, every yard of concrete, like everything that you need for the job, like we break it down. So
Nice.
I have run across things that like our architect designed and like really off the wall. And so some of my customers, it's very interesting when you work with people because you kind of get to know their personality. And some of them are like, oh, $300,000 job, that's really big. I wouldn't want to bid that. And other people are like, yeah, $2 million, let's just bid it. Like some people are like all about those big jobs. And other people are like, oh, no, I would rather pass on something that's going to be that big. So it's just kind of interesting. But I'm here to help people bid whatever they want. So I just want people to realize like our service is like super affordable. And I mean, I've done about 80 invoices to people, and our average invoice is like less than $500. So people aren't paying thousands and thousands of dollars to get this help. So, but basically, any kind of commercial project that people are working on, or industrial, or anything like that, we don't do anything to do with residential. So
I gotcha.
So general contractors for the most part, or with the city or the county or whatever the case may be.
I gotcha. So it doesn't matter what type of fence it is, as long as it's in a commercial setting then.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the main reason for that is that the commercial jobs have plans and specs, and the bid package that needs reviewed. So that's basically, we're doing all the work remote. We don't go onto any sites or anything like that. So, most of the time, residential jobs don't have the plans and specs and all that type of thing. So.
Right. Absolutely. Now, whenever you're doing these bids, and then, like I heard you talk about yards of concrete, are you doing bids for anybody doing driven system posts and, just swapping out the concrete for longer posts, or are you strictly?
So I have never, so we're typically bidding per the plans and specs, and all the plans and specs I've ever seen have been like digging holes and putting concrete in.
Okay.
So, but we don't actually, I know some of the companies that we work with do the no dig, but I haven't been asked to bid on a no dig project yet. So
okay, all right, cool.
Where I'm at with that, but I mean, I'm open to it. I think it's a great idea, because it's stronger. I mean, it's going to be faster. I mean, I think it's a no-brainer to do the no dig, but I know that there's a lot to changing like an architect or an owner's mind as far as that's concerned. Ameristar did a really good job as far as like getting in all the specs and getting their product out there, to be specified and that kind of thing. And I think somebody unfortunately has to put money into it, right? To get the no dig, realized and accepted by the architects and the engineers, and for that idea to become, mainstream and, to see it commonplace. I think that people would need to reach out to the design departments, right? So that, I think as far as where we see that in the commercial projects, it may be a few years, before we see that. Even though I think it's like a no-brainer. Like, who wants to haul away 10 yards of dirt? Believe me, I've shoveled yards and yards and yards of dirt and hauled it off to the yard, and we picked up the yards of dirt. We put them on a forklift with some cardboard, and we, dump it into the dumpster. All the dirt. It's like, it doesn't make any sense at all. But I mean,
sense whatsoever.
That's the way fences have been traditionally done. So until one of the fences I did here in Nashville actually was at a brick yard, and we were digging all these red bricks out, even 3 and 4 feet deep. There was red bricks all in the ground, and like we're having to dig these big holes for this the Trex fence. It was a 8-foot tall Trex fence.
Yep.
And, so we're taking down 200 feet of chain link, installing, putting temporary fence up, and installing the Trex fence. And man, that job was at an old brickyard. 100 years ago, there's a brickyard there, and man, every single shovel full of dirt had red bricks in it. It was like, wow, this is insane. This is crazy. That like 4 feet deep, there'll be like red bricks in the ground.
That is pretty wild that there were still bricks in the ground 4 feet deep. That means that place has been there for a long time, and a lot of dirt has been added to that ground.
Yeah.
That is pretty wild. Hey, I got something also pretty wild for you as well. It says, "I'm his twin, bro. Don't know why my name's messed up on here."
Oh, well, yeah, his name's really messed up on there.
That's funny, man. I saw it pop up, and I was like, okay, all right, that's who that is. Well, twin, nice to have you watching, man. Thank you so much. Your brother's doing some pretty cool stuff in the fence industry, man. I got to say that.
Yeah, I mean, well, my brother, he works in Northern California, and so this year, he's close to $1 million a month in sales for just individually for his company. So it's like, man, they're doing big things over there.
$1 million a month?
Yeah. I think he's at 11 million right now. So
good job, dude.
That's his individual sales. So,
that's awesome.
It's a huge company that nobody's ever heard of in Northern California, and they're just making a lot of money. So he does the same thing I do, estimating and project management, but he's obviously working just for one company. So
right. So speaking of that, what's your target client audience? Are we looking for companies that are trying to break into the commercial world and don't have a very well-versed salesman? Are we looking for bigger companies who just don't have the time to break off and do 30 hours worth of sales work a week?
So I'm actually I will work for anybody and everybody. So I have clients that are like mom and pop shops, just very, very small. And they use me like once every 3 or 4 months. And that's how often they use me. And it's like, I don't care if someone's going to send me something once every 6 months or if they're going to send me 2 jobs a day. Like, I don't care. Honestly, I have no preference at all. So, like, if somebody's like, oh, I want to bid on commercial, but I'm really, really nervous, I don't want to miss on something. I've had many, many clients send me jobs after they sold them. They already got the contract for this job, but they just want to take a second look and make sure they got everything, make sure that they're not missing anything. So, and I'm here for whatever anybody's need is. So it's like if you need like a lot of hand holding and you want me to walk you through the entire process, like I'm good with that. And if you're just like, oh no, we do all our own estimates and proposals, we just need a takeoff, like I'm here for that too. Like whatever people need, that's what I'm here for. So I'm really trying not to do like submittals. I do have the capability to do submittals, but I'm like, I really want to be busy enough with bids and estimates that I'm not working on submittals. So, but I mean, I'm here if people really need submittals done and they don't know how to do them and they need help with them, like I can help with that as well. So,
right.
I mean,
Right. That's awesome, man. That is awesome to hear. Did you see yourself doing something like this, or was it just really kind of like just dropped in your lap?
Oh man, so I really yeah, I mean that's a good question. So I enjoy estimating and project management, and I've dealt with a lot of things. So like the thing is, we have like a competitive bid environment. So anytime we're like bidding a job, like so one time I was bidding a Burlington coat factory in San Bernardino, California, and we bid the job and we bid the gate automation and everything, but like we listed because it's a competitive bid environment, we had to like bid stuff separately. So like we bid the gate automation as one line item, but we had to bid like the UL 325 compliance as like another bid item, because obviously if they're comparing apples to apples and somebody else is just putting in an operator, then we're charging $15,000 for all the safeties, right? The wire mesh and the extra things that they need. So I really feel like with my experience in the fence industry, and even like with bidding a job that has structural calculations, which is something that's kind of more common these days, is so I kind of can help the customer know like the right way to bid that job, because obviously you can't bid it with the calculations already factored in because they haven't been done. So like, but there's a certain way that they can like structure the proposal to minimize their risk and still get a good opportunity, get a good chance for the job. But I never really, so I've always seen myself in the fence business. And like I said, it all came back to when I was working at Rio Grande and I went to the fence show, and I was just walking around in Nashville, here where we live. And I was like, man, like I felt like there's more, for me, there's more to life than like digging holes and installing fence, even though I enjoy it, even though like it's great, and I'm pretty good at it. Now I got like thousands and thousands of pictures of all these different fences that I built. You know how we are, like we're obsessive. I mean, I printed like thousands and thousands of things. So at one time when I had my own company in California, I was actually installing fence for Home Depot as well, but that was like residential, obviously. But yeah, I never really knew. So my long-term vision for Your Bid Helper is actually to have like, so I'm focusing on fencing, for the next year. I'm not thinking about anything else but fencing. But my long-term vision is for like to have a plumber and like an electrician. And so we can actually have people who are experts in their trade, experts in their field, that are bidding on the commercial jobs and, working on those things and helping out, like maybe a landscape company, maybe a grading company. But the whole thing is like having an expert, because like my brother Jeremiah, who works in Northern California, he gets like 10 requests a day from different estimating companies, and I'm sure you get them, and all kinds of people get emails every day from these estimating companies that basically they do general estimating. It's more like a general contractor type thing, I would think, because they're like offering to take down like every scope of work and that kind of thing. But like the whole secret sauce to the Your Bid Helper is like like I'm a fence guy, so I'm working on fence bids. But at some point in time, I want to see the company take a next step to where it's like, okay, we have an electrician, we'll work on your electrical needs. We have a audio video guy, like having people who are basically experts in their field, who have the time and the willingness, to work on those type of things and to to break it down and do that. So that's my long-term vision for the company. But
that's
awesome.
Right
now, like when you have your own business, there's like 10 million things to do. And so I just actually hired on someone to help me out. But even with somebody helping me, there's just so much to do. There's so many things to do. It's like I don't want to do, what's it called when you collect money?
Accounts receivable.
Yeah, accounts payable. And I'm like, I don't like calling and emailing people like, hey, it's been 3 weeks, it's been 4 weeks, it's been 5 weeks. But it's like, well, nobody else is going to do it. And I need the money. So it's like, and I did the work. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it's like when you're a, entrepreneur, you're wearing all the hats,
Oh, yeah.
So,
absolutely are. Real quick, we're going to hit 2 comments. JC GURY Signs and DECALS says, are you guys going defense tech? That is a question that I don't have an answer for at the moment. I'm not going to dive into that, but are you going defense tech, Mr. Out?
I mean, I want to. It's really tentative. So there's like a lot going on in my life right now. So if I can get everything, hammered out, definitely I want to be there. I want to go.
Oh, yeah. And then Mr. Robert Evers of Two Smooth Operators podcast. You guys go give him a like and a watch. Oh, I skipped that one. He says, I was doing gate tech training in Knoxville, Tennessee 2 weeks ago. Looks like a good market for fence and gate work.
Definitely. So the company I work for, Rio Grande Fence, they actually opened a second location in Knoxville. So they're here in Nashville. It's a 3rd generation owner company, and they opened a branch in Knoxville because they obviously felt the same way as Robert. There's a lot of work out there. So
nice.
Definitely.
And have you done any bids for your old company yet?
What's that?
Have you done any bids for Rio Grande yet?
Oh no, I have not. No.
Dang, no. That would be like the feather in the hat right there, buddy.
Well, I actually just got my first call from a customer in Tennessee, so I was like, cool. I have like 6 in Texas, 6 in Indiana. I got Massachusetts and Florida, and all these. I have 11 different states right now, and my goal is actually to be in all 50 states.
There we go.
One company, but not that it's real relevant because obviously my goal is to make a living and. That side of things. But if I can get one customer in 50 states, I think that'd be awesome. But I was super happy when Top Rail Fence actually called me in Chattanooga, and they're like, "Hey, can you look at this job?" And I'm like, "Yeah, they're in Tennessee, woohoo!"
That's awesome, man.
Cross another one off the list.
There we go. Just cross them all off till you hit 50, right? That's
yeah,
awesome, dude. I love it.
Then we can officially. I mean, I already have Florida and California, but then we can officially just be in every state.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. Well, hopefully we will get you there. Guys, go check out Your Bid Helper. We got Miss Karen McManus O'Neill says, all the hats. Great service you offer, Isaac. That's awesome. Right there. Guys, real quick, we are going to do a commercial break. We will come back for closing thoughts and where we see ourselves next year for 2025. Stick around. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Okay. And again, I didn't have them pulled up.
JC GURY Signs and Decals has been a trusted name in the sign industry since 1949, with all manufacturing done in-house from start to finish right here in the USA. With 75 years in outdoor signage and roots dating back to the 1920s, JC GURY specializes in durable, high-quality signs and decals. In-house screen printing since the 1970s ensures every product meets the highest standards. Visit jcgury.com for more information. Every aluminum sign includes Mylar lamination at no extra cost, extending product life in tough outdoor conditions. For unmatched quality and longevity, visit jcgury.com.
All right, guys. And once again, thank you to our sponsors. We got Mr. Fence Academy, www.mrfenceacademy.com. And then we also have our wonderful partners, Mr. Mike Levy over at National Metal Industries, www.nmifence.com. Guys, go check him out if you're in the market for any sort of fence material, privacy, like slats, especially. We just got done with some privacy slats. Mr. Mike Levy like provided for us. He didn't, but those were awesome products. www.nmifence.com. Also, during the 2-week break that I had making the volume 1 and volume 2 of the best of, I also had some time to revamp the JC GURY commercial, because truth be told, the first one was undergun. I had about an hour before my podcast and it needed to be done, and it was done. So I revamped it. I put some nice logos in there. I got their phone number, their website in there. I'm super excited and proud to be partnered with JC GURY Signs and Decals. I got my collector signs coming in the mail. Just got the text earlier today. Guys, when they get here, when we're at an event, you can have one for free. I'll have a whole lot of them. I'm going to be giving them out. www.jcgury.com. Best signs for fence in the nation. All right, man. We back at it. So, dude, how was your holiday, man? Like, I know we kind of skipped like right past that, but like, how was your little break?
I mean, it was got to see family. That was a benefit of it. We had a lot of sicknesses going around during the holidays, so there was some. My dad got hospitalized from COVID pneumonia right after. No. Yeah, so but he's doing better now. He's not on the oxygen anymore. He's back home. You don't have to do the in-house care anymore. So
good.
Not too much to complain about.
I was a little worried because Amanda told me that her mom had pneumonia. I think 2 or 3 days ago, she told me, and I was like, well, that's not good. I was like, she's a little old to have pneumonia. It's like, is she okay? She's like, I don't know. I need to find out if I need to go or all that stuff. So, and that one hits home. That one hits hard. So, sure hope your pops recovers from that for sure.
He's doing good. He's getting better for sure.
Good, man. I had a pretty nice break, man. I went fishing a couple times. I got skunked all the times. It's really cold outside. I can't last very long when I'm out on the water. But yeah, man, it was a nice time with family, nice time to relax, reflect, and kind of plan out, my goals for this year, and just kind of run with it, man. What was your favorite goal that you picked out for yourself for 2025?
Definitely get the Wingman V3 version out there, get it in production. I've debuted all the changes, and everybody likes the changes that are coming with the new version. So that was the big goal starting. I want 2025. I want the tools to really take off and gain some popularity, which they're already soaring.
Yes, they are. And
the Wingmans are flying. Wing tools are flying.
Heck yeah. And look at that. Speaking of, Mr. Mark Aurelia says, at the rate that Evan Gardner and Sean King have been improving tools, fences will be building themselves by 2030. I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. We got 2 very innovative men putting in some work right now. So, man, hats off to both of you. All right, we got Miss Mary Cobb, which is the queen behind JC GURY, if anybody didn't know. Says, Happy New Year, everyone. Happy New Year to you as well. And then we got JC GURY says, love it. And then Miss Mary Cobb says, thank you, Billy. Great commercial. You are very welcome. Over the break, I also took some time and educated myself on how to use this video editing program. And I'm like this far into a 120-foot iceberg. So I'm just at the tip of it. And guys, it's going to get better. Moving forward for sponsors, I'm going to be doing a lot more cooler things with the commercials and being able to completely edit them my own. So can't wait for that. That has kind of been one of my things. One of my biggest goals, though, personally, is how can I become a better leader in 2025? That's kind of what I've written down on my goal journal. And that's probably going to be the head of my 2025 is just to become a better leader than I am already. So we'll see where we go with that goal. But man, I am super behind what you got going on with Wing Tools. I can't wait to see where it goes. And man, it's been a wonderful year, exciting year for everyone. And brother, I'm freaking pumped for you, man. But I am about to, I got 15% left on my laptop. I'm just kind of scared that's going to like shut off in the midst of us without like doing.
If you want to shut it down early, I'm fine with it because I haven't eaten dinner yet and I'm hungry.
Well, we're about 40 minutes in, which is about normal. So, you got any closing thoughts for us?
Man, 2025 is gonna be great. I think it's gonna be great for everybody. Y'all just focus on yourself, do better than you did last year, always improve. And together we're all gonna just win the year.
Hell yeah, man. And what I have to say for the first podcast of the year is this. Gotten some feedback on a couple different facets of my life, and I'll say this, guys. I don't care how you install, what method, what product you use to install your fence, man. My whole goal and my whole thing is teaching people how to drive posts. And I don't care if you're driving Postmasters, if you're driving Z posts, Grizzly posts, or Lifetime posts, if you're driving 2 3/8 for King Plus, 2 3/8 for metal to wood brackets, guys. I'm not trying to tear anybody down. I'm not trying to say one product is better than the other. One process is better than the other. I've always been about the whole deal. Take what works best for you and your company and run with it, right? So what I am going to be saying moving forward is, as long as you're driving poles and not digging holes, bro, I'm loving it, right? I'm loving it. So that's my new slogan for 2025. As long as you're driving poles and not digging holes. With that said, Evan, give us one more shout out on where we can find you. And guys, I do apologize. First show back in 2 weeks. I have to cut it short. My computer's about to die. But hey, man, we didn't have any real technical things going on tonight. So there's that.
Y'all can get the tools at gardnerfences.com or go to wingtools.myshopify.com.
All right, man. Hey, buddy. It was a very much pleasure to have you on again. Can't wait to see you next week. It's been too long for as close as we live to each other. But man, I'll see you next week. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to come on the show and to announce your tools, man. All these people are loving the tools. Guys, like we have said, go to wingtools.myshopify.com. Place your order today. Get those tools to help out your team install Postmasters or channel posts, Z posts, whatever you want to call them. Man, you have a wonderful rest of your night. All right, buddy?
Give me a follow also on Facebook. Go to the Wing Tools Facebook page and check it out.
There we go, guys.
Videos there.
There we go, guys. Go to the Wing Tools Facebook page.
Yep.
Facebook page. All right, buddy. Well, I will see you next week. And bring some warm clothes, bro. It's gonna be cold.
10-4.
Hell yeah, man. I'll see you next week, buddy.
Later.
All right, guys. My apologies for having to cut the show short tonight. We still are right about hitting 40 minutes. But guys, it's been a wonderful first show back. I'm finally getting back in my groove of things. It's been weird not being here 2 weeks, kind of been off. But with that said, guys, I don't want to run the intro. I want to run the outro. Boom. Wrong button press. My bad. But guys, with that said, I do have a Mr. Fence Academy training coming up this upcoming Wednesday, January 15th through the 17th, Pace, Florida. We're going to be doing wood, vinyl, and aluminum. all driven. It's going to be King Plus, driven vinyl, and driven I-beam aluminum. It's going to be a great time, guys. Check it out. As you might have heard, if you watch the whole podcast, we have a social media influencer coming, man, with over 1.2 million followers on Instagram, guys. It's going to be a fun week, man. I can't wait till the podcast after that. Hopefully I won't have this heating pad around my neck anymore. I don't feel like an old man. But other than that, guys, you guys come check us out next Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. I'm going to have a bang-up show lined up for you again. And I promise you, I won't forget the charging cable. All right, guys, y'all have a wonderful rest of your night, man. I'll see you next week. Y'all go kick some ass, put some fence on the ground.
National Metal Industries, a family-owned business for 70-plus years, has grown to be recognized for their ability to deliver on not just privacy slats for fence, but all types of fence products. National Metal Industries has all the hardware and tools to get the fence professional in and out of their job with the most ease possible. You can count on National Metal Industries for the most convenient resources in fence products. Visit nmifence.com for more information. As we like to say, you can always pick it right at National.
How you doing?
What's going on, man? How are you?
Good.
Good, man. How was your past week?
It wasn't bad. It's what I do. Watched a little of my son's hockey. Spent some time with my daughter. Got into what's today? Today's only Tuesday, so
There we go.
it wasn't so bad work, but yeah, we're going good. Last week, God only knows, just 1 week runs into the next.
Yes, they do. Absolutely.
And when you asked me to come on, I had just been a little bit fed up with different services that I've been using, whether it's a marketing company, whether it's an IT company, my alarm company, and just all different services. Whether any piece of the puzzle that would be a part of what makes your business or around your business run properly. If they're not helping you, you got to start evaluating it.
Right.
It's something where, and even though we've been in business for so long, there's always something. We always learn something new. There's always something evolving that the change has to be made, and I wanted to revamp the website about a year or two ago, and we got into a company who just didn't really connect with us, and I finally gave up on him, and I found through actually a defense professional group on Facebook, this guy Jordan, who owns Presto Media, and he got me, and he understood exactly what I was looking to do on whether it was Instagram or now he's taking over the website to help build that better. He's actually bringing AI into our CRM, and it's just amazing what's going to be happening in the next couple of weeks. I think it's just big things are happening for the website. We connected it to our ERP system, so when the orders come in, it goes directly into it. Everything's going to be integrated properly, and it's very exciting.
That's freaking awesome, man.
Yeah.
I love to hear it. So you said you were watching your daughter as well. Like, I don't mean to backtrack, but
Yeah.
you've sent me pictures of you on the trampoline a couple times. Were you on the trampoline?
No, I haven't done that in years.
Nah.
And
Damn it.
I'm gonna
All right. All
get
right.
back into shape for that.
Well, hey, man, that's awesome. So, before we get into our topic, I do want to let everybody know, all of our viewers know who don't know who Mr. Mike Levy is, even though if you are a week in and week out viewer, you should know the name at least, because I say it at least twice a show. So, Mr. Mike Levy, tell everybody where you're out of, what National Metal Industries is, and how long you've been in business.
So we started in the 40s as a hardware store. My grandfather was a union plumber in Manhattan, in the city, Manhattan, Brooklyn area, and he opened this hardware store. Him and my grandmother were not well at the time. My father took it over at like 16 years old and ran the store until he moved it out to Long Island, created a fence company, a fence supply. So we supplied everything from chain link to the aluminum slats that we still supply. So, those diagonal aluminum slats that you hate putting in, we still make them. The top lock, the wing, I make the hedge here. That looks like a grass fence. We also do railing. I have an aluminum railing that we just brought on. What else can I tell you? Anything, gate hardware from like Nationwide Industries, or all the different type of hardwares for any type of fence, we have it here. And the tools, whether it's the pliers, the PVC notchers, the post hole diggers, anything, we have it. So I just came up with the bolt cutter. The carriage bolt plier. So
Yeah, man. You know what's funny is I've been asking my welder to make me some of those for, I don't know, about a month and a half.
yeah, I'll get you one.
About 2 months, and I was like, all right, just let me go buy some cheap channel locks from Harbor Freight that you can cut the bottom jaw off, and let me buy a cheap this. And every time I'm like, hey man, did you go to Harbor Freight today? He's like, no, but I'm supposed to tomorrow. And then he'll go tomorrow and then he'll forget. And I'm like, bro, just make me some carriage bolt pliers, please.
Well, we got them, so you don't have to make it.
Hey, right. But that's awesome, man. All right. Well, hey man, we got a couple more people in the chat. We got Wing Tools in the house. What's going on, man? We got Mr. Craig Eubanks, Fence Guy Friday podcast in the house, guys. If you're looking for something to do on a Friday, it's a little bit early for my fence guys who are still out in the field working. Go watch Mr. Craig Eubanks. And yes, guys, I do shout out podcasts that are not my own. It's just love, man. It's Fence Fam love. We got Orlando Hinge Company in the house, Swan Hinge. Hey, Billy and Mike, what is going on, sir? I'm excited to see you at the retreat, man. Looking forward to it, buddy. All right, well, let's get into our topic. So our topic tonight is hire or fire, making the right service decisions for your fence company. And those can go into a lot of things, like you were saying, your office alarms, and go into your phone systems. It can go to your CRMs. It can go to the people that supply your soap and toilet paper for your bathrooms. It's everything, right?
Yeah.
So this was kind of your idea with this, because I think we were both kind of at a loss for ideas on the podcast. I'm going to get it started off. Where do you think is a point that it's like, hey man, I need to hire a business service, whether it be a CRM or a like accounting service or this or that?
Sometimes the best way to find out is is through talking to other people in the industry, obviously, and sometimes even outside your industry. But communication with other people, even the people in your own office. When it gets to a point where you're just feeling it and you're just realizing on a day-to-day basis things are not working out with whoever you're using, and it's getting to a point that you just know in your gut that it's not happening. And it can even be with an employee. But sometimes, I'm not saying that I don't drag somebody out forever, and I realize at some point that, hey, things have to change. But it's in your gut when it's time, and sometimes you'll get frustrated and maybe blow a wig for it. But it's there's times where you're just losing money, and you're not you're going day to day or month to month, and you're paying that bill, and you're like, what am I getting for this?
Right.
And you might see another company who might just do better. And I mentioned Jordan before. I had Jordan doing something with the Instagram, and I had another company doing the website. But the other company who was doing the website could not connect my ERP system and integrate the website to the ERP system. So I called up Jordan, and I'm like, Jordan, I'm getting rid of the other marketing company. You got to do something. And he put together. He got me in touch with someone who builds websites. This guy's Bullseye, and I'm very happy with what he's pulling through. And it just moved us so much faster. Where this other company was dragging me along for way too long. And I'm counting the months. I'm like, you know what? He's not getting anywhere with the ERP company. He's not getting anywhere with the design. He's turning around and, throwing it back at me. And when companies start to blame you for their downfalls of why they can't get you what they need, sometimes you got to say, you know what? This is where we got to cut ties.
Right. Right. And beyond that, what would you say is a good feeler range for, let's just say I just hired a company and I've done my due diligence, but still due diligence doesn't always work out all the time, right? Because no matter what you do, how many reviews you look at, you can do it all day long. It's personal to you, right? It's under what your expectations are, and everybody has different expectations. What's a good timeline that you would think that you can fill out a new company and you can know, like, hey, this isn't working out for me?
I guess it depends on the project. Like with the marketing company building the website, that probably should have been done in a few months, honestly. There were parts that the ERP company I deal with it's very tough to deal with, and unfortunately, he couldn't get answers from them. I couldn't get answers from them, so he used that as leverage to just keep on going to the next month. But it's like I said, you never know. It all depends on what project. I mean, alarm company or your cable service, your phone service. And these are the things that are, if they're not working properly for your business, you got to start looking elsewhere.
Absolutely.
And so, can I give you a timeline of when to do it? No. I'm sorry. It's just, you just got to know in your gut, if you want it before the season starts, whether you have a trade show coming up. I would love to have my website complete before the trade show. It's not going to happen before this weekend coming up in New Jersey, but hopefully by Utah, yeah. But I'm a fence tech.
All right. So then you're going to be in Utah?
Yeah.
Oh man, heck yeah. So I'm on standby right now to either go or not go to Utah. Okay. And I'm looking forward to getting that call saying, "Hey, you're going to Utah." So I'm looking forward to that, man. I really want to go to Utah and see that and see Fence Tech. So hopefully I'm there.
Yeah, I've been doing Fence Tech since 14 years old. Now I'm 46 now, so it's been a couple of Fence Techs.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice, man. How have they grown?
Oh, you used to walk around that show, and then all it smelled like was cedar. And,
Really?
Yeah, and now it's gate operators everywhere, and a lot of machinery, but it used to be a lot more fence material.
Nice.
Yeah, but it's always a good time there. The people are just great.
Are you going to Vegas this year?
I wish I could. It's unfortunate that I can't justify going to everything, and as I want to get away from my place and do it, but I still got to make this place work, and I feel guilty when I leave this place.
Right.
Between this and following my son on travel hockey, or I'm away too many weekends.
I hear you. I hear you. Well, I will for sure be in Vegas in 2025. So there's that. We'll be doing our thing at the Fence Show again. This time it's in October. Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to that.
That I might be able to do. I'm going to try for it.
Oh yeah, man. It'll be in October. It's in October this year. Might be a little bit cooler outside. I know it was 125 degrees outside last year, and it was in September. So it was still hot. So we'll see there. JC GURY says we'll be in booth number 1801. We have been at Fence Tech for 40 plus years. That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I hope I get to see you guys again. And that'll be freaking great. But all right, back to the topic. So can you give us one of your personal experiences? Because obviously something had to mull this up for you to be like, let's talk about this. You don't have to say the company's name.
Mm-hmm. So what's been driving our company, obviously, probably one of the most important things in business is the ERP system that holds our inventory and our sales orders and the supply chain. Just knowing what's going on in your business helps you forecast your business and what products you need to have on hand. And I'm trying to integrate it with the website, a CRM, and other processes. And it just, the money that it drains from not working properly. And to not get a CRM for all these years, not having one, not needing, and I'm not going to say not needing one, but just not having the ability to use one. It's like, well, what's going on here? And when I'm talking to the marketing guy, and why isn't that ready yet? And he's giving me all these excuses, and I'm like, you know what? Let me move on. And so Jordan, he's got this plan. It's all coming together, and it's very helpful. And like I said, in the next couple of weeks, I think we're going to be that much closer to a complete project, and we'll be able to do the email marketing better, and just all these different processes that I've wanted for years are coming to fruition.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. That's freaking awesome. And all right, man, we're gonna run to a commercial break. I'm gonna run both the commercials, so we'll see you guys in 2 minutes. 2 minutes.